This morning on Daybreak, getting a ride to the voting booth, how Lyft is working to make it easier to exercise your right.
Plus, powerful testimonies fan partisan flames. We take a look at a historic day in Washington yesterday and the upcoming vote on Judge Brett Kavanaugh. These stories and much more coming up this Friday edition of Daybreak. Well, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Today, Friday, September 28th. I'm Daniel Shedd.
I'm Joe Morano, and you've made it a week, all right? Filling in for Lauren in the fill-in set.
Fill-in anchor in the fill-in set. I'm good.
Exactly.
We made it.
Not too bad. All right. Hope you guys are doing well out there as you guys get set to move on this Friday and get moving on the weekend.
We're excited for the weekend here.
That's right. But you want to know the weather, of course. Let's check in with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. She's in the weather lab and has your forecast first.
I'm so stoked for the weekend, but I'm just too tired to show it right now. But give me another hour and we'll be stoked.
We know you need a little buffer room there to wake up.
Yeah. It's 54 degrees in Branson this morning, so still on the cool side, but not as chilly as it was yesterday. Dew points are still pretty dry, and we don't have too much in the way of cloud cover. We do have some patchy to locally dense fog in south central Missouri and north central Arkansas. Half-mile visibility of mountain homes. Just keep that in mind there this morning. Temperatures a little bit warmer than they were yesterday. We're 6 degrees warmer in Springfield. We're starting out in the 50s. It's 53 in Springfield, so again, still chilly. The kids still want a jacket, but not as cold as it was yesterday. Dry as we head through the afternoon. Maybe a sprinkle or two, but for the most part, I don't think it's going to slow you down. We'll have these cool temperatures at the bus stop this morning, so kids still need jackets. By dismissal, 74. We'll have increasing cloud cover, turning partly to mostly cloudy. For those games tonight, we'll have those temperatures in the 60s, 66 by kickoff, 60 by halftime with some cloud cover and maybe a shower up to the north. Details on your weekend forecast, to do that in 10 minutes.
Beginning new this morning, 3 people were taken into custody after a chase through Springfield earlier today. Police say they spotted a white Ford F-150 on the east side of town that was possibly involved with a home invasion in Lawrence County. When the officer attempted to pull the vehicle over, the truck sped off. Police pursued the vehicle down Grand, and that's when the truck hit a light pole at Grand and Campbell. The occupants were arrested and taken to the hospital for minor injuries. That intersection was shut down overnight during the cleanup, and police currently are still investigating.
An Independence man was killed in an accident in Stone County yesterday afternoon. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says 69-year-old Jamie Graham was traveling 2 miles south of Lampy on Highway 13 shortly after 2:30 when his vehicle traveled off the right side of the highway and struck a tree. Graham was pronounced dead at the scene by the Stone County coroner. This is Troop D's 95th fatal accident in 2018. And moving to some election coverage this morning, a couple of efforts this November are making it easier for you to exercise your right to vote by giving you a ride to vote. For the first time ever this November, Greene County will have a central polling location at the CU Transit Center in downtown Springfield, and Lyft is offering free rides on Election Day. County Clerk Shane Scholler says with 7 issues on the ballot in Greene County, he hopes voters will show up, and this new location will make it easier to do so. Some voters say they're on board with this new idea.
I've got my regular polling location. It's on the southeast, and most of the time, by the time I get down here for work and by the time I get off, I normally don't have time to get in between before they shut down. So, I mean, I'd use it if they have them.
We should note that you do not have to ride the bus to use that central location. It's open for anyone. Another central polling location is open at Missouri State's Welcome Center. Just a reminder, you have until October 10th to register to vote. You can do that on our website, ozarksfirst.com.
And in our political news now, after a lengthy day of testimony about a sexual assault claim on Capitol Hill, the fate of Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination is now in the hands of the Senate. Today, the 21 senators in the Judiciary Committee will vote on a recommendation to give the full Senate, which could then hold a confirmation vote next week. CBS's Mola Lenghi is on Capitol Hill with more details.
After a day-long hearing at the Senate Judiciary Committee, only a handful of senators remain undecided on how they'll vote on Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
He's right, she's wrong, she's right, he's wrong. I mean, you're never certain.
Republican Senator Jeff Flake says he's still processing the 8 hours of testimony by Kavanaugh and his accuser, Christine Blasey Ford.
He began running his hands over my body.
Ford, trembling but calm during most of the day, recounted her claim that Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her in high school.
I believed he was going to rape me. I I tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth to stop me from yelling.
Many Republicans say there's a lack of corroboration to her story and have thrown their full support behind Kavanaugh.
To my Republican colleagues, if you vote no, you're legitimizing the most despicable thing I have seen in my time in politics.
During his defiant and emotional testimony,
my family and my name have been totally and permanently destroyed. We mean no ill will.
Kavanaugh strongly denied the allegations and joined Republicans in calling them a smear campaign.
This confirmation process has become a national disgrace.
I'm not sure he showed the sort of judicial temperament that is at least typical of nominees before us.
Democrats continue to call for an FBI investigation, but admit there's nothing they can do to stop Kavanaugh's confirmation without Republican help. Molalengi, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now, after all of that testimony yesterday, President Trump tweeted his support of Kavanaugh, saying his testimony was powerful, honest, and riveting. The Democrats' search and destroy strategy is disgraceful, and this process has been a total sham. Last night, the American Bar Association urged the Judiciary Committee and the full Senate to not vote until the FBI has time to do a full background check on the claims made by Ford and other women.
Jeff Glor, I think, said it very well in the middle of that, saying, I'm not sure if there's any winners in this case.
Certainly. Yeah.
Back here at home, Senator Claire McCaskill says that she will not support Kavanaugh, while her Republican opponent, Josh Hawley, has voiced his support for the judge. We spoke to Color 10's political analyst, Dr. Brian Calfano, about what kind of impact this hearing could have in the Show Me state come November.
What I'm afraid about this hearing, honestly, is that a lot of people who would have been willing to at least give the process a chance and to give the whole notion of putting people on the court that the president wants to have on because that's the president's prerogative, of course with the Senate's advice and consent, will simply say, look, even the court now is political. We have to get back to a position where institutions are not all about political or partisan gain. And I think if you look at the election, this Supreme Court nomination has essentially become just that. And there was even the case in Missouri before these accusations against Judge Kavanaugh came to light. So I think the bigger concern is how do we move forward and not have every government institution out there become this partisan back and forth bickering fest. And I just worry about the future of the country if the courts succumb to this partisan rancor.
And that was Dr. Brian Calfano. We'll be sure to cover this as it moves forward.
Yeah, a lot more coming today from Capitol Hill as well. We'll, of course, keep you updated. Still much more coming this morning on Daybreak, though, for you guys. Up next, Elon Musk finding himself in some legal trouble.